Hello, hello, and welcome back. This is your Penguin demo number 3. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Remember, if you're on the same computer and you've saved him, it should pull up right here, kind of in this little recent area. If it's not there, file, open. Remember where you saved it at and get it out here. Get him opened up. We're gonna need to open another artboard. I'm going to show you the shape builder tool today, and then we'll come back in and work on our penguin. So we can leave this guy open. We're just going to hit File, New. If you have custom, you can click on one of the customs. If you don't, remember to go over Print, set it to inches. Orientation doesn't matter too much for the demo. RGB, high, and default. Then you're going to hit Create. I have some custom ones already made, so I'm just going to open one of those guys up. Nope, not that one. And hit Create. So our penguin should still be up here, and now we have another artboard open. What we're going to do is we need to make a couple of shapes here. We're going to make a square, a circle, a rectangle, and a star. So I'm going to start making a square here. Shift key, magic shift key to lock my height and width in place. I'm just going to fill some of these in wacky colors so you can see what I'm doing. I don't want another square. Move this guy up. Now I'm going to make a circle. Ellipse tool. Shift key to make it perfect. Change the color here. As you're making your shapes, make sure that they're overlapping a little bit. And that will be important for the demo here. Now I'm going to make a rectangle. Overlap them a little bit more. And I'm going to make a star. Get a star going. Okay. So you should have a couple different shapes up on the screen, and they should be overlapping. It would be good to make them different colors just so you can kind of see what's going on here. Yeah. So after you get those up, now we're going to select all of them. We can do that by clicking and dragging over all of them. Or if you remember, we can use our magic shift key. Hold down and shift. Keep holding on shift. And keep holding until they're all selected. Now that they are all selected, we are going to click on our shape builder tool. So we come over here to our toolbar. It's this guy here. It's got like two little targets with the arrow or the cursor. Click on it. As you just kind of like hover over these shapes, you'll notice that it pulls up kind of like a little gradient on top of it. Just letting you know that that's kind of what you're hovering over, which is nice. The first thing I want to show you is if you click and drag, it starts drawing a line. Once you start drawing a line through different shapes, different portions, it connects them. So now all these shapes that we just drew that line through are connected, and these pieces are not. That's good for making some really wonky shapes that you want. Another fun trick that we can do is, if you'll notice by my cursor is like a little tiny plus. If I hold down the Alt key, boom, it changes to a minus. See that? You have to hold down for it to stay the minus though. The good thing about holding down the Alt key and using that minus on our shape builder tool is that we can go in and delete things when we click on them. Just like that. Also really great for making wonky shapes or taking out a piece that you do not need anymore. A great little tool. The last thing that I want to show you with this shape builder tool is you can also change the colors of different parts of shapes here. We'll go with this dark blue. So as I hover over an area, I can click and it just starts filling in that shape. So that is our shape builder tool here. It's really handy. It does a lot of great things. Yeah, we're getting ready to use it. I just wanted to go over it with you before we started using it. So now we can exit out of this. You do not need to save it. You can hit no. It's just for practice. So now you should be back on your penguin here. Before we get started with our shape builder tool over here, we need to separate our background from our drawing. If we don't, things just get really complicated. So we're going to click on our background so it's selected. We're going to go over here to layers, click. We need to create a new layer. So we're going to go all the way down to the bottom and hit this little square with a plus. It says create a new layer. Click on it. And now we have a new layer here. If you'll notice that our layer right here has this tiny little blue dot, that's just what is currently selected, which is our background. So we're literally just going to click on it and drag it up. And now it's on its own layer. You can kind of see that gray background on there, and our drawing is on this layer. So I'm going to click off of that. I'm going to rename this by double clicking. I'm going to name it background. And I want to lock it. Remember this little lock? We want to keep this one unlocked because we're working on it. But I want to lock this one because I'm not going to be working on it anymore. And now our drawing has been lost underneath this layer. So we're going to click out here, kind of this empty area, click, and we're going to drag it down right below our drawing. Not into our drawing, but right below it. There we go. Once you get your background locked and set up on that new layer, we're going to start using our shape builder tool. The first thing that I want to do is change his eye here. I'm just going to click on that little guy and hit backspace and delete it. I do not want it anymore. I want it out of here. We're going to make a new eye. We're going to come over here to our toolbar and right click for our tools to pop up. I need my ellipse tool. I'm going to be making a circle. I'm going to make it black so you can see it. I'm going to make a nice circle here. Hold shift to make it perfect. And then I'm going to make another one, maybe a little bit smaller. I'm going to change the color of that second one just so you can kind of see what's going on. Turn off the stroke here. I'm going to go back over to my black arrow now so I can move it. I want to move this one in on top of this bigger circle that I made. So I can get this kind of like nice crescent moon shape here. I'm going to click on the black circle, hold the magic shift key, and also select this pink circle I made. Now they're both selected. I'm going to come over here to our toolbar and grab the shape builder tool, which again is that 2 targets with this little cursor or arrow. Click on it. And I just want to delete these pieces. And if you remember, it's just holding down on the Alt key to change our little cursor plus to a minus. I'm going to click and click. Now they're gone. Now I'm just going to resize it and move it into his eye over here. It gets kind of wonky. You can hold down on your magic shift key, remember, to keep it kind of perfect. Move it in. You can make yours really big. You can make it really small. Whatever you would like to do. Now he has this nice little eye here. Pretty cute. Move it up a little bit. Okay. The next thing we need to do is we're going to attach our belly here to our eye. So I'm going to click on the belly. I'm going to grab that top piece and just drag it straight up. We want it to kind of overlap here with the ellipse we drew for the eye. Just like that. We want to attach them to make them one shape. So I'm going to click on both of them using my magic shift key. Go over to my shape builder tool and draw a line through both of them. And now it is one shape. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to add a highlight to my nose here, right in the front of it. I'm going to go over to my shapes on my toolbar, right click, grab the line segment tool. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. Zoom in is Control plus. Holding down on my space bar to grab and drag. So now I'm going to click and draw a line through the front of his nose, kind of at a slant here. I'm going to turn my stroke on, 1, so I don't lose my line, and 2, so you guys can see it. Also a fun tip, just like our triangle, when you've drawn a line, you can move it magically in 45 degrees, holding down the shift button, just like we did with the triangle. So now we want to create a highlight up here. I'm going to click on this line, hold the magic shift key, click on this nose, toolbar to my shape builder tool. I'm going to pick a color I want to change it to. Let's make a custom one. Why not? Yeah, let's do that. Over here and click. You'll notice that these lines are still here. How can we get rid of those? Oh yeah, hold down on the Alt key and we can, our little minus comes up and we can just delete them. Oops, I have to zoom out. So now we have a nice little highlight there on our nose. I'm going to move my nose to the back of his face really quick. It's bothering me. Yeah, nice. Now we're going to do the same thing here with our flipper. So we're going to grab that line tool again, draw a line, cut through. It's important that when you're drawing a line through a shape, that it goes completely through. Sometimes you can line it up perfectly to the edge of the flipper here, but sometimes you cannot. And that can become a little bit messy when you're using the shape builder tool, because then there might be a little tiny piece where if you're trying to fill in a color, it will fill in the whole thing because it's not a closed area. So I would say it's just better to go all the way through. I have a little extra on the end that you can delete out of there. So I'm going to select both of them here, holding my magic shift key, grab that shape builder tool, and we will pick a highlight color. Let's go this. That would be nice. And click. Boom. And now he has a nice little highlight there. Oh, I forgot. If you're like me, you'll forget a lot. I need to quickly delete my little lines here. Select them. Back to my shape builder tool. Hold the Alt. Delete. Delete. Just like that. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to add a low light in the water. So I'm going to go back over here, grab my line, draw it all the way through. I'm going to select that. There we go. Make sure your line's selected. Make sure the water is selected. Shape builder tool. And we'll pick a color here. Let's do this dark guy. Boom. The water is now filled as a low light. Again, I forgot to delete these lines because they're not, the stroke is not on. Sometimes can be a pain, but luckily you can just go back in, delete them, just like that. The next thing I'm going to show you is we're going to make a highlight here along his back all the way down his tail. So we need to first connect his tail to his body here. So click his body, hold shift, click his tail, go to your shape builder tool, and we're going to drag a line through it. So now his body here is connected to his tail. Make sure it's still selected. I'm going to hit Control C for copy, Control V for paste. Change the color so you can kind of see. I'm going to drag it a little ways here. Bring it out a little more. Just so I have a little sliver of him left to create that highlight on. You can make yours a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller if you'd like. After you get it lined up, make sure that the fake body here, my pink one, is selected. Hold shift and select your real body. Go back over to our shape builder tool, click, and now I'm going to add a highlight to his body. Pick that blue, I think that's the one I had, and click. I'm going to click off the screen before I move this, because sometimes once you have multiple things selected in the shape builder tool, it will move them all. If you try to move them afterwards, move this guy out of the way, hit backspace to delete. And now I have this really nice highlight here on the back of his head and his tail. Looks so good. I'm gonna move these guys down. I think it's bothering me. Yeah, there we go. Let me zoom in here really quickly. That's too close. If I click on his body here and I go to this white arrow is good for making little tiny adjustments. You'll notice that we have some corner options pop back up. Some of them do things just depending on what we've already done. It will kind of tell you what the problem is. Like when I pull this way, it will pop up with that red line above his head, just letting you know that the shape of that is already round enough, I guess. It just won't let you continue moving it that way. We can move it this way. It kind of comes to a nice little point here. Sometimes you can pull this guy. Hasn't been working for me. It has something to do with his head up there. Pull this guy. Nope, with his head. The one I like to do with my penguin here, I will zoom in for you. Drag. I can click on this path here on the corner, and this little target will pop up, and I can round that out really nicely. Click on that corner, target will pop up, and round it out. We could probably do the same thing up here. Yep, round it out if I wanted. Oh, it comes in like a nice little squared edge here. That one's not popping one up. So it's fun to play around with, just to see what your different options are every once in a while. Just to create new shapes, kind of flatten or curve things out, which is really nice. And yeah, that is using our shape builder tool to create some highlights here, or lowlights here, highlights here, making a fancier eye. It's really good for just going back in and starting to add some details for our penguin. I have one more demo I'm going to go over with you. It will be in the next video. So you can close out of your penguin here. Make sure you hit yes, you would like to save him. That way he is safe. And yeah, I will see you at the next demo.